Dyson DC54 Cinetic. It is mostly washed, mostly dry. Hopefully later on in this episode we will get it back together. But I thought I would show you, after having to re-look at all my old photos to work out how the heck this thing goes together, and look at the Cinetic Cyclone itself. There is a lot here and it is very, very confusing. So let's put it together and I will show you how Dyson did a cyclone that doesn't require any filters. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and bagless Dyson chums. How are you today? Yes, from this side down to this side is the order in which things go, starting with the tippy top handle and ending, oh, in fact, look, there's one more, here we go, look, ending with the shroud. There, lovely. Yeah, there is a lot to take in here. There are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millions of cyclones in there, and when you finish with the cyclones you get this, which it's all falling apart, but this, if we pop these off, these are the little rubber tips that are supposed to do all of the filtration, and I guess they do if you don't use the machine for DIY, nor, as I think this has been used for, used wet or damp. As soon as stuff starts sticking to these rubber tips, that's it. It is game over. There's another set. Here, look, on the cone. I say it's been used wet because, well, this is the screw card for a DC54, and they're the screws from the Cyclone. As you can see, I had to drill some of them out, and a great many aren't going to go back together. So I have my Dyson screws that I have robbed from various scrapper machines, and hopefully we can assemble it and get something out of it. And we'll start with the very first screw, which goes in at the first part. If you forget this, you've got to take the whole thing apart again. Yep, the little cyclone goes on there, and then this screws into place like so. Then build that up there. This all goes on here with its 3 gaskets. If your gaskets are torn and worn, good luck, you're finding a scrap cyclone and hoping it's better than yours. Yeah, of course Dyson don't sell those parts. I almost see why, because it definitely isn't a job for the average person. Obviously Dyson don't repair stuff. They would have just thrown you a new cyclone. But every DC54 is probably now out of warranty, so yeah, you are screwed. Then this little collection of hooters here, you can see on the old gasket where it goes, and it has to go in its alignment. I'm facing everything with this bit forwards. You'll get to realise that soon. Then look, there's this other bunch of holes here. These go around and onto there. Then this part comes on, flips over the front and screws down. And I think here is where we need to put our first layer of screws, which I'm going to do off camera, I'm afraid. I'm not going to just sit here smashing screws in front of you. So yeah, we'll put the screws into this section and then come back. With this layer on, and I was wrong again, you actually screw that white bit to the lid to start with. Then this bit sits on there because it doesn't get sandwiched down yet. Then, which way do we do? We'll do these first, and again there's a gap there which lines up with the gap there, although be careful that it doesn't all fall out as you put it in. And then yeah, you push that down until it just sits there. This outer ring with its gasket forms I call it the second layer. Then this part goes on next. And then there's some more screws there. I don't know, like I say, these are all rusty and horrible, and the problem is, I can make it pretty much spin out with my fingers. Are you going to go in? Okay, you will. 1. How many can we save? 1. Oh, not that one. No. Yeah. Bear with. Then, with this now nicely together, we can fit this. Now, this is the bit that I had to really drill out the most. So I'm hoping that I didn't screw up the screw post too much. That pushes down there onto the rubber. Yeah, this is what I'm calling the first layer / inner cone. And I've got lots of screws now because I've not used all of them for the right place, because I've replaced a lot of them with new screws. Oh, this is it's just screw after screw after screw. Have you done a DC54 before? I guess if you do a lot of them, you'll get the pattern. But this is my second one, so it's all still a little bit iffy. Get this screwed on nicely, and then we can fit the outer part. Then the outer cone, although it's got an angle to it, and I can never remember which way around it goes. So we'll pop the cyclone roughly in that way, and then with that button sitting there, it goes that way around. There we go, with the dip facing the lever, bracket, catch, whatever you want to call it. Another buttload of screws there, and then we can clip the shroud into place. There is then a rubber gasket which is keyed. There is a notch on the inside which will line up with the notch on here. Put this over the top of this. I guess probably could have put this on before, but it doesn't really matter. Where is it? There it is. And then it will sit in that little slot there. All nicely nice. There we go. Then the shroud, there is a tab which lines up with a tab. You can see it still hasn't come up spotlessly clean. I mean, I guess I could have soaked it for a couple of hours before trying to scrub it. Yeah, because you can't scrub into all those little corners. Maybe a pressure washer. But once it's all back together, look, it's all right. A vast difference to how it looked before. The lady said she was fine with that part being broken. It's always been broken for years, and it's never really bothered them. And again, that's good, because there is currently only one scrap cyclone on eBay, and it ends in like 6 days at the time of filming this. I can't bother to wait for that. That's done now. The bin stays on because it clicks on, so it's going to be fine. You can only hold a little tiny bit of dirt in these anyway. And yeah, one kinetic cyclone fully rebuilt with like many spare screws. I've been chucking them all in the motor bucket there. And well, we can put these in there too. And I'm now very low on these little tiny fine thread screws. There we go. There we go. All that's left now is the main machine, which is pretty much just a DC39, 28C, 28, whatever, motor housing. So let me go and do that, and then we can come back and see how she runs. And hope she sucks up. And before we know it, the rest of the machine is done. Back to being the very expensive, very nice, decent, well-suctioned machine that it should be, that the owner remembers it being when it was new. The floor head has come completely apart, been washed, and should hopefully spin a lot more, as should the tangle-free turbine. And the hose and the wand are up there, ready for in a short while. So, let's plug the machine in first and check that, well, we have more airflow than we did before. These do make a very distinct sound with all the air rushing through the cyclone. Marvellous. That is perfect news. It mainly means that I put that together properly, because if it wasn't, that would be a pain. Let's click the hose on, which should now be dry. We can find out if it's not. Excellent. Right. Small turbine head. Yep, that's fine. The main head. There it is. That's what it should sound like. It had its bearing oiled, it was full of hair as well. Doesn't slow down when it hits the carpet, which is key. This is all job done, really. We can put the hose back onto the wand, put the floor head on, we'll knock it down a bit, and pop it in its parking slot, and we can call another disastrous Dyson done. It's not a disastrous Dyson anymore, and providing that the owner doesn't use it for damp again, doesn't use it for fine dust again, which I will mention if she asks, she should be good to go. And yeah, we can knock another one off. So what's been your experience with a kinetic Dyson machine? Have you ever been inside of the Cyclone? If so, how did you find it? Does it get any easier if you do lots and lots and lots? Equally, do you have a DC54 as well? Wish it ran like this. Fortunately, there is no easy way to say that you have to strip, wash and put it back together, just like every Dyson when it gets middle-aged or 10 years old in this case. But no harm done, it's just plastic, it washes up. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed, and I and some other clogged up disastrous Dyson will see you soon. Bye bye.